So the meeting started about like 40 minutes ago for the WNBA CBA. And one of the things Caitlin Clark has pretty much come out and said is so important. Caitlin Clark saying this, she said the quiet part out loud. She said the quiet part out loud. And this is one thing that everyone has said where it's like, and this is the point that I've tried to make. I'm like, if there's no WNBA, there is no future for women's basketball, because let's be very, very real here. Unrivaled does not have the money to continue to pay these high salaries if they expand their league. Like Alex Basel has come out and said that they're not getting more teams. And like these high salaries coming towards the players are there short term, are realistically going to be there short term. At the end of the day, it's we've now got to the stage where like Unrivaled is now basically pitching itself as the anti-WNBA, which is a big reason why people are wanting Unrivaled to fail. It's because it is pitching itself as the anti-WNBA. But what Caitlin has said is huge here. So someone just responded, it's the agenda of Unrivaled Week in WNBA. That has to do with this, but still. Let's take a look here. It's from an Annie Costable article. And a meeting between the players, including players expected to take place on Tuesday. Over the weekend, Clark and Breanna Steward both emphasized the importance of both sides meeting in person to iron it out. He says there is a time crunch and things need to be solved, Clark said on Saturday at Team USA camp in Miami. It's our responsibility to get something done for not only all of us, the players that are older in the league, the players that are younger in the league, but the next generation of hoopers. We don't want to lose what we have right now. That's my main focus. And I look forward to playing on April 25th in New York City, my first preseason game. She said the quiet part out loud. She said the quiet part out loud. Basically, she said what no player is willing to say. There is no future if there's no WNBA. Because yes, if you are a good enough player to make it in Unrivaled, it's absolutely fine. And if you guys didn't see, Tash Cloud was like third in jersey sales. So like, there obviously is a fan base for Tash Cloud. But what I mean is, for example, like a Hannah Stolke. I think everybody is of the opinion, okay, Hannah Stolke is going to last 10 years in the WNBA. Hannah Stolke is going to, I don't know what her degree is in, but if there's no WNBA, she should definitely just go into the workforce, because going and playing pro overseas for dwindling money isn't worth it. It's not worth it. There's very little money playing pro overseas. Like it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not making a lot in the WNBA and you're not making a lot overseas, but when you combine a not a lot versus not a lot, especially because in both of those scenarios, your living expenses are close to zero. Everything you make, you can basically put into savings. It becomes an okay amount of money. But because again, the organizations overseas and the WNBA, they will pay for pretty much everything for you. So at the end of the day, like that's one of those things where, like, these players, if there is no WNBA, the going overseas, like the players that are like exclusively overseas and will play overseas, a lot of them are doing it because, you know, they have the dream that they're eventually going to make it back to the WNBA. There's no WNBA to make it back to. Like, there's not going to be anything really. Like, there's no point in playing. It's just you go, you pretty much go and, like, retire, or like not retire, just go work a normal job, because why would you deal with making 40k overseas when you can 40k overseas for 10 years and you come back and you're working from the bottom when you could work your way up to six figures in those 10 years. Like, you could work your way up to that money after those 10 years, and then it becomes really tough. It becomes a really, really tough one. But yeah, it is like, it's just one of those things where Caitlin had to be the one to say it. That the players, they all talk about, oh, we want this best deal for the future. We want this for the future. At the end of the day, no, to hell they don't. Like, at least Tash Cloud is honest. At least she is honest about it. The fact that she's effectively only caring about herself. At least she's honest. Like, you can say what you want, but I don't think anyone is questioning whether or not, like, if Tash Cloud is lying about it. Because at the end of the day now, we are in the 11th hour. And this is the first time anyone has actually properly said like, someone has properly come out and talked about the fact that, like, if we stop the momentum, what's going to happen to players in the future? Because they don't give a fuck. And by the way, like, the job of the union is to represent the current players. It is not the job, and this is one of the things where it's like, it's very different than a normal company. Like, it's very different than a normal company, because I think in a lot of situations in a normal company, like, you're not, as a union, you're not debating on you're saying not debating, you're not, like, negotiating for future people that are, like, for 10-year-olds that could potentially work in your company down the line. Like, that's why people are like, oh, this is just a labor issue. No, it's not. It's very different. This is sports. This is very different. Like, sport you're in the attention business. You are in the attention business. At the end of the day, you are in the entertainment business. And you want to know what's going to happen if there's a strike? People are going to stop caring. Like, everyone talks about, Unrivaled, their equity has gone up this much. Like, until all of these, again, are unrealized unrealized valuations. And there's a finite amount of equity. Like, was it only players from the first season of Unrivaled that have equity? So then Paige doesn't have equity? Malonga doesn't have equity? I don't know. Or did they dilute the shares even more so that the player pool is a certain amount of equity, and then they just start diluting shares to make every individual player's equity get lower, which means as the years go on, they're bringing in new players, their equity continues to be diluted more and more and more, and it ends up being, when it's all said and done, if the league kind of dips a little bit, next to nothing. Like, it is, like, it's one of these things where it's like, they can't, like, the WNBA can't lose momentum. And by the way, I don't think Unrivaled realizes that without the WNBA, nobody cares about Unrivaled. There is a 0% chance Caitlin Clark plays. Like, Caitlin Clark has absolutely, it's WNBA or nothing. Caitlin Clark will not play for the league. That is the equivalent, that has basically, that is basically a big reason for this. If Unrivaled did not exist, there would be a season. I'm not saying that the players would sign a bullshit agreement. I'm saying that the players wouldn't be able to strike. The players would be negotiating from the perspective of, let's get the best that we can, not we can hold out, because if you're NECA, okay, yeah, I'm going to make $2 million in Project B. This might be my last season in the league, so it doesn't really matter. If you're Bree Turner and them, you're like, well, I might even get signed, so I might make more money. I might actually make more money if there's no season, because if there's no season, I'm going to get paid by the lockout fund. If there is a season, I might make a roster. Same with Alicia Clark. I think Will is definitely going to make a roster. But NECA has Project B. Everyone is involved in the EC either has something on the side that will pay them a whole bunch of money, or they have or they might be out of the league. So it's looking like that. So we're talking about this and everything about this situation and why players are doing certain things. At the end of the day, not one player involved in CBA negotiations gives one flying fuck about the future. Because what is going to happen, again, we all understand that striking is to do with the revenue structure of the league. If you can't come to an agreement on the revenue structure, there's not going to be a league. There's just not. Like, every day, every game that a season, or every day a game doesn't happen. Every day a game doesn't happen. Jesus. There is going to be less money offered to the players. Less money offered to the players. Like, whatever the players get offered before they strike is the most they will ever be offered by the league. Because what is going to happen is if the league can't come to an agreement and the players strike, it means the league have not found a number where they deem the league worth operating anymore. that they will just shut down the league. Because there aren't, people don't realize, they're like, oh, they're going to lose so much money with their franchises growing. If the play, like, that is only 42% that are involved in that part. Like, a lot of the franchise valuation is due to, like, their arenas and stuff like that. Like, these teams, when it's all said and done, if they sign a bad deal long term, and the revenue doesn't grow the way they like, and the expenses are continually high, every individual one of these teams is going to lose their current valuation in revenue, and they're going to be going into huge debt year on year on year, and the NBA is going to stop bailing them out. Like, so they will shut down this league. Don't get it twisted. Like, if it comes down to it, they will shut down this league. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Like, I mean it. I don't think the EC give one flying fuck about players in the future that are not in the league right now. I don't think they actually care. And I'm not saying every individual player, but I don't think the committee give a damn about the young kids who are inspired to be these players. I don't think they necessarily like care about the league that's been built. I mean this. I genuinely think they want one last paycheck on the way out. They want one last paycheck on the way out, and they're willing to burn it all down. And I actually think we've heard it from the players. I think there is a resentment towards players that are coming up and going to have it better than them. And by the way, this wasn't necessarily the case in a lot of situations with the original WNBA people, the Lisa Leslie's of the world, the Tina Thompsons, the Cheryl Swoops to an extent, the like all of these players. Like, there wasn't as much of that compared to now. The Rebecca Lobos. Now, there is a resentment there. We've heard it plenty of times, even when Dejanay was talking to Angel. There is a resentment from older players towards players that got NIL in college. And these young players are going to make more money. You better believe that the fact that these young players are going to want a league to come in, are going to want to come into a better league, and like are going to be in a much better position than they were. That is not going to, like, wanting to get that's not going to help negotiations. If anything, by what we've heard, it's going to stop it, because there is a level of resentment there.